Welcome to True Blue Politics Daily. I'm Anita, and I'm here with my co-host Karen from Chicago, and we're going to be
Well,
reviewing.
what's today?
Oh,
What's
oh,
the date?
today I was hoping we just kind of pass
Gloss over
over.
that.
Yes, today is August 20. Is it 26th?
It
26th.
is. It is,
August
Anita.
26th. Thank you. August 2026. There you go. And we're gonna talk about the new Michigan nominee for Senate,
hmm
um,
What is his name?
Abdul Al Sayed, and
Yeah.
he's being interviewed by the disgusting, oh my God, horrible. He's just so horrible. Jesse Waters,
hmm
smarmy, always like condescending. He's just disgusting. But
Right.
he's being interviewed by him, and it's a pretty interesting interview. And Abdul
Okay.
does a good job. I mean, let's face it. When you're on Fox News, you know what it's going to be like, right? And
hmm
if he only gets to makes himself look, hey, wait a minute, this guy isn't scary.
Right.
If he just does that, then he won.
Right. So, to the three people who are watching this, and I say that jokingly, I just want to say this really quick. I was joking about the three people because I know that there are more
Okay.
people that are watching. Okay, I
Uh,
just want to say that. But let me speak for 1 second, Anita. I just want to apologize if anybody that was watching or listening yesterday found my anger to be too much. I was feeling it yesterday, and um, I think that a lot of people are feeling the same things on any given day. Yesterday was my day, but I want to apologize because I certainly didn't want to make it uncomfortable for anybody. So we can move on.
yes, and everybody has those days.
Sure.
Definitely. I have those days.
hmm
We all have those days, especially right now.
hmm
So let's move on.
Yep.
Okay.
So we have this interview with Jesse Waters and Abdul Al Sayed, who
Hmm.
is the Democratic candidate.
Nominee.
Yes,
Hmm.
nominee. Okay. And I will get this queued up here. Sorry, hold on 1 second. I don't know why it's not. Okay, here we go.
We're gonna stop it
Yeah, we'll keep, we'll
when.
we'll play
Yeah,
and then stop. Okay.
but play it real.
Michigan Senate candidate Abdul El Sayed joins us now. How you doing, Abdul?
I'm good, Jesse. I appreciate the opportunity for a good, wholesome conversation, and I just want to start where we agree. We both played football and lacrosse. We both love America. We both love freedom, and I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Absolutely. We'll see how much we agree on. I know I don't agree with you on this. You want to abolish ICE. Who's going to deport the criminal aliens from the country?
Well, you and I both know that long before we ever had ICE, we had INS. We were able to enforce our immigration policies without shooting people in the face and the back of the head. And we just celebrated our 250th anniversary. That was an anniversary of throwing away tyranny. Now, to bring that tyranny back under the guise of the U.S. government itself, that seems to me to be inconsistent with the freedom you and I both love.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a dodge, Abdul. They did the same thing.
I appreciate his answer right there, Abdul. And like I said, you're on Fox News, so you've got it. It's probably very overwhelming or kind of intimidating, right? And Jesse Waters comes right out of the gate and says, "You want to abolish ICE?" After Abdul was just like, "Here's what we have in common: we both love football, we both love America, blah blah blah." And he's out of the gate, "You want to abolish ICE?" And of course, yes, you know what? We do. We want to abolish ICE.
Yes.
Most
It's
Democrats want to abolish ICE. I think most Americans are with us on
mm,
this because we don't need ICE. And that was his point
no.
when he
We
talked about, well, INS did the job and we just don't need ICE. This was created back or after 9/11, and it really has just turned into what Donald Trump has especially turned it into is just kind of a goon squad, right? Like what do you call those guys? Not the brown shirts, but a Gestapo
hmm
for Donald Trump.
Right, and they're gaitered. They do not have
Gator, yes.
insignia. They are driving around in plain clothes, clothing, khakis, and I mean, they kind of look
And
like
there's no accountability.
they
Go
kind
ahead.
of look like the Charlottesville, Oath Keepers, or the people that were marching with tiki torches. I'm just going to say, in a lot of cases, so they're not identified. There is no way of knowing that they are actually law enforcement.
Yeah. And the fact that they could turn into this so quickly, he could just turn around and turn ICE into this, unaccountable, unidentifiable. police force, that he gets that private police force, is very scary. And I think we need to get rid of them. I just,
Absolutely. I'm with it. I'm down
yeah.
with it. Yeah, I think he's right. Let's bring back INS and sensible, immigration enforcement.
We have border control,
Right.
okay,
Right.
already.
Right.
It's just, we don't, they're not needed.
No, they're not. They're not. Okay,
Go
so I'm
on.
going to continue.
ICE back then, INS. Do you know how many illegal aliens are in the country
Shoot
now?
people in the face and the back of the head.
Do you know how many illegal aliens are in the country now?
We had, no, I mean, to your point, Jesse, let me just answer the question. To your
Answer
point,
it. How many do we have?
Fewer when we had INS. To your answer, we had far fewer when we had INS, so
We now have,
INS worked a lot better.
Abdul, listen, we had twice as many illegals now when we had INS.
So your argument,
you have to have the manpower to do it.
If you want to do.
Okay, we have to have the manpower, but the manpower is not there because the Republican Party will not vote for immigration reform. And by the way, there was a bipartisan bill that during President Biden's that he would have signed, and it wasn't perfect. And but that was there. And then what happened, Anita?
Yeah, then Donald Trump made sure that they didn't pass it because he wanted to use it for to help him win the election, because so it would still be a problem. But this is not what our problem is. What he's talking about isn't even our problem. We just need more judges. The reason why we have so many people here undocumented is because our immigration system is broken. Mm-hmm. People are waiting for 20 years to get citizenship.
Yep.
That shouldn't happen.
No.
This should be a fast process. Okay, you're here legally. If you have a legitimate concern for your safety, we're going to give you asylum, whatever, or not. And then that's it. They're in or out.
Yeah.
But we don't have that system and all of these people are stuck here.
Yes. And why don't we have that system?
Because Republicans won't pass legislation to fund. They don't want to solve the problem.
No.
And
why don't they want to? Why? Why do they want the problem?
They want the problem because it gives them something to run on.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And what else would Jesse Waters be able to, talk about?
Whine about and complain. Oh, the scary brown people.
Right. Right. Okay.
That correlation, we have ICE now, and we have far, far more undocumented people. So ICE is clearly not working. You're just shooting like American citizens in the face and the back of the head. So
well, illegals are shooting people in the face too.
Disagree.
Abdul, you got a guy in Michigan.
So American citizens.
Okay.
Illegals are. Go ahead.
Well, I think we already know that far more American citizens shoot people, kill.
Well,
people.
he's saying ICE is shooting people in the face, which they are. Yeah. So just a normal. And I'm sorry, but isn't ICE supposed to be working for the U.S. government? Mm-hmm. And they're shooting American citizens in the face?
They're shooting American citizens, but then Jesse Waters, of course, his favorite thing is illegal.
So are illegals.
So are illegals, right? So to that, no, the statistics show that the majority of people shooting Americans are Americans.
Of course. You know what? Look at the mass shootings. Every day we hear about shootings.
Yes.
Not just mass shootings, but shootings. And very rarely are they committed by somebody here illegally.
Right.
That's just, like you said, statistically, that's just the case.
Right.
So, I mean, when they say that, American citizens are doing these things, I don't know. If my child were shot in school, I wouldn't care if they were shot by, it wouldn't make any difference. They'd still be dead whether they were shot by an illegal person here illegally or a American citizen. That would make no difference to me.
And why, I just, point of order, how they always love to like cite these cases where there was, an undocumented worker that killed, somebody, like fill in the blank. What was her name? Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley, yeah.
Right. But here's the thing. Do you know how I just heard this on just a little while ago. There have been 22 Black people hung.
I know, I heard about that.
Why? Yeah, we don't hear about that. And certainly Jesse Waters isn't concerned about that.
No, and who are they being hung by? They're probably not hung by illegal aliens.
No,
people are being killed every day, and horrible atrocities are happening every day. But this is what he's focused on, this one woman, and it's terrible. It's terrible.
Of course.
And, there are going to be bad people. There's all bad people in every demographic.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, but most of the people that come here are hardworking people. That's how we built our country.
Yeah, they can name, like a handful of situations where that was the case.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
Not
it's
even a
just
handful.
nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah, one or two, and they focus like,
Sensationalize it.
yeah,
Yep.
they sensationalize this, and then it's just. I mean, Democrats don't do that
No.
because honestly, you think about the white supremacists and all the the MAGAs that have run around, murdering people,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't sit there and you don't see MS Now every segment being about that, and focusing on that.
Maybe they need to start. I don't know.
Well, they're not an arm of the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I understand. I
Yeah,
understand.
I mean, I know. I wish they were
I mean,
sometimes,
but the thing of it is,
but
it's
it
not
shouldn't be that way.
But this is the thing. It's not a partisan story to talk about MAGA. About these people that are aligned. Like the number of church leaders that are
Yes, that are,
being arrested for molesting children.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway, all right, here we go.
You got a guy. Let me just say something. Okay,
to get back to the conversation about the broader issues.
Okay.
Well, you cut me off, Jesse, and you said we're going to have a good conversation, so I'd like to do that. I just want to answer the point. When I travel the state, and I have traveled my state, more people are asking me about how they're going to afford their gas and groceries. They're not asking me about immigration.
Well,
now,
they also don't want to get molested. Abdul, you got a guy here from Southeast Asia, molested a kid. ICE just picked him up. You want that?
There's a guy at Mar-a-Lago who molested a kid.
Yeah, there's a guy that's sitting in the White House that did that. I mean, come on. The one guy from Southeast Asia. Are you kidding? No, people cannot afford their groceries or their gas. They're getting cut off with their food assistance. People are actually going hungry. Food banks are running out of food. And so, no, people are not focused on some Southeast Asian guy.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not.
No, they're not.
Because that's rare, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys, they're desperately trying to get people to be more upset about this, to focus on this. So Republicans continue to pick their pockets and rob us blind.
Well, based off of the polling, it doesn't seem to be working.
No, it's not working because, this is what happens, okay? Republicans fuck up the country. They are terrible at governing. They're terrible. They're not fiscally responsible. They always screw up the economy. And then Democrat has to come in and save it. And only when these voters are so desperate, when things get so bad, do they vote for a Democrat, okay, to save everything. And then they forget all about it, and then they vote for a Republican again. And that's the thing that's happening right now. It's gotten so bad. Nothing else is going to matter. Nothing else is going to matter because most people are suffering that bad. And it's sad that it has to get like this for these people to wake up and to stop voting on these stupid culture wars and hate and fear.
Yep. Okay.
Guy to stay in Michigan?
I'm glad that guy got picked up, but that's a different thing than saying that INS would not have picked him up. Jesse, you're too smart for this.
It's a bureaucratic game you're playing, and that's a dodge. You need guys to get these guys out of the country.
Therefore, ICE, we need ICE. I'm just saying, look, playing by your own rules. When we had INS, we had fewer people doing the things that you're talking about.
That's because Biden didn't blow open the border back then.
When we had that.
All right, that's because Biden didn't blow open the border back then.
That's not a nice question. That's a CBP question.
No, you guys let in a ton of people, and we got to get them out, and we'll take the guys out the way we need to take them out. Green New Deal, you back that up. Do you drive an electric car?
I drive a plug-in hybrid made right in the United States. The bigger question about cars, though, is why the president just started a trade war or escalated a trade war with Canada. It's about to make all of our cars, especially the internal combustion engine cars, so much more expensive.
You want to get rid of the internal combustion engine.
He's doing something very smart. He's trying once again to use these stupid code words that Republicans fall for. The Green New Deal. They use it. The Green New Deal was something AOC proposed, I don't know how many years ago.
Yeah.
And it went nowhere, okay? And so they're still talking about this Green New Deal, these buzzwords.
What was in the Green New Deal, though?
And the Green New Deal was actually a pretty damn good piece of deal. It would have been good policies. But anyway, it was aspirational. Okay? Mm-hmm. But anyway, so what he's doing is he's bringing it back to Donald Trump making the price of cars go up. Him talking about the Green New Deal once again. I don't think this is going to work this time. I think people are suffering, and when he's talking about the price of cars and how Donald Trump's making them even more expensive, making gasoline more expensive, Jesse Waters' stupid buzzwords, Green New Deal, are just not going to work.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I just, and I think it's smart the way Abdul answered that.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, here we go.
No, I don't. Who told you that?
That's what the Green New Deal
America
says.
to design internal combustion engines. No,
the Green New Deal says phase out fossil fuels.
Build renewable energy opportunities. Look, I'm not going to defend the Green New Deal. What I'm telling you, though, is that we could make a whole
You're
lot
on the
more
record
amazing
as
jobs if we
backing the
actually
Green New
invested in
Deal,
renewable
Abdul.
energy. Look, I'm just telling you this. Are you opposed to the idea that we could reduce energy costs and create jobs in Michigan?
Absolutely, but I don't want windmills in Lake Michigan.
So you're absolutely opposed to that?
Yeah, I don't want to put windmills in Lake Michigan. Do you?
Why not?
I don't think the people in Michigan want that, Abdul. If you're running on that, that's not going to go over too well.
No, I mean,
do you know what? They're building electric cars in Michigan, okay?
Yeah.
We're going to have to build windmills in Michigan and electric car plants. That's just the reality of the situation we're in. For him to say, he wants to phase out fossil fuels. Yeah. Even Exxon knows we're going to have to phase out fossil fuels.
Yeah.
It's just,
Okay, we're 4 minutes in.
Okay, let's you know what? Okay, play the stuff about the transsexual, the surgeries that on children that he's.
Okay, well,
this is an interesting.
Okay, I have to find it though.
Okay, go ahead.
Go through and
then we'll talk about Dolly Parton a little bit.
Run it. I also think we got to start taxing wealth for people. I want to talk about the things that we actually should spend on.
I have a feeling I'm in trouble. They can't even get access to it, but that's me. I think we'll figure it out. The thing you said about...
let's just stop there. So,
sure.
Jesse, wait. I understand you're not good at math. I get that. I'll give you that. But science is not science, okay?
Yeah.
You understand that, nuclear material doesn't just go away because you buried it under a mountain of rubble. You understand they can still go back and bury it out. Family, it's astronomical, through the roof. Now, I think football used to be the kind of thing that you could enjoy with people.
It's another dodge, Abdul.
So I mean, football, I want to talk too expensive. You don't agree?
All right, so you don't think it's racist anymore?
I get it.
All right, well, I'm glad. You don't think the NFL is racist anymore. That's
most
good.
people can't afford that. Bigger issue with the NFL. You want to talk about the NFL. The bigger issue with the NFL is too many people can't afford it. I get you probably can. And I know that you're in New York, so you have 2 teams that play in the same place, so you get 2 options. But I'm just saying that here in Michigan, we got 1 team.
Okay.
And most people can't afford to watch them in a stadium. And I'd like to make it more affordable.
Right, so you dodged it again. Sex changes.
No, he didn't dodge it.
Do you support that?
He didn't dodge it. He went back to what's the most important thing: affordability. Mm-hmm. That's what he's doing, and he's right. He's on message. He's sticking on. He's on message.
Yep. Okay.
So
here
keep
we
going.
go.
The stadium, and I'd like to make it more affordable.
Right, so you dodged again. Sex changes for minors. Do you support that?
Look, I remember having great conversations with my conservative friends about right to try legislation. The idea that the government shouldn't tell you what kind of health care you should have. I just think the government shouldn't tell you what kind of health care you should have. And if you're a minor,
you want to try on kids?
Now, if you disagree with that, if you disagree with that.
Wait a minute. He should have said that doesn't happen. And I just want to make sure that clear.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, look, and I understand he might have been caught a little bit off guard there because it's a ridiculous question because it's not happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not happening. And I wish that he would have said, show me the
give me an example of that happening.
Yeah, of that happening. And why are you so obsessed
with
kids'
other genitals?
Yes, with children's genitals or anybody's genitals.
Yeah. But he does, later on, he does a good job of, defending, defending that, but.
Let me keep playing.
If you disagree that healthcare decisions need to be made by a doctor and their parents and a patient, then we think we agree to disagree. But, you want to put government inside
So, Abdul, you're a doctor, right?
Selectively. I am.
So you think it's okay for a parent to slash his kid's thing-a-ling off? You think that's okay?
I mean, do you really want to have this conversation? Are you circumcised?
Yeah, but I mean, that's a
Jesse,
personal question.
Yes, it's a personal question. It's a personal question. It's a personal matter, which is exactly his fucking point.
Yeah, it's not the same thing. But
it's not the same thing,
and he should have made it clear that doesn't happen. But I think what's happening, honestly, I think there's a delay in what Abdul is hearing or able to respond to, because it seems like that's one of the tricks Fox News uses.
Yeah.
To kind of make you sound like you're hesitant.
Well, and and let me just say, and you know this as well as I do, when you're calling into a show, when you're, because he's not in studio with Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a delay.
Yeah.
There's
a delay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but there doesn't have to be. I think there might be.
Well, they
more,
may be doing more of a
yeah,
delay.
knowing
Right.
Fox News,
Well, sure,
absolutely.
because then they can, they can kind of, you know,
Yeah, they make it look like he's being hesitant.
right,
Have
right,
you noticed that when and he's not. He knows
right.
he wouldn't gone on there unprepared.
No, of course not. Okay, here we go.
Okay,
Doctor.
So you probably should want to move on. You probably should want to move on.
And circumcision's different than castration.
I think it's a problem. It's a problem that you think that you get to decide what happens between a parent, a doctor, and a patient. And I'm just saying that, yes, circumcision is surgery on a kid's dingling. So if you really want to bring that up, you can. I just think you guys are really selective about how you want to talk about these things.
Abdul, Michigan's not going for that. That is sick stuff. Boys playing in girls' sports.
I'm not advocating anything. I'm just saying.
So, what about that?
So the question, so again, like Jesse, you have not asked me one time about the issues that people actually care about in Michigan. You don't want to talk about gas prices. You don't want to talk about groceries. You don't want to talk about health care. You don't want to talk about the stupid trade war that's about to destroy Michigan's economy.
We spent the whole interview talking about that stuff.
That's destroying, that is destroying our own military. You don't seem to want to talk about any of those things. You want to bring up all this culture war. That, I'm not here to fight a culture war.
We talked about the war. We talked about gas prices and the Green New Deal, okay? If you want to do an interview,
I brought them up every time.
You can do the interview,
you're
okay?
Asking me, like, you're doing the greatest hits, Jesse. Like, I mean, this is, like, you could play this game if you want, but, like, you can keep doing the greatest hits if you want. You told me we were going to come on for a conversation, and when we have conversations, I think that it's okay to also ask questions. I just want to understand what you're getting at here.
I'm getting at whether you think men should play in women's sports.
Senator in Michigan,
it's a big issue.
I'm interested in getting money out of politics, putting money in your pocket, and passing Medicare for all.
You're filibustering,
most people don't care about what sports kids play.
You're filibustering. It's a big issue.
Because, like, I want
you
to
guys
talk about
kind of lost on that issue last time.
Deserve to hear about.
All right, so you want to answer that question?
What issue?
You want to answer the question?
What issue? Go ahead, Jesse. What issue?
Should men play women's sports? You have daughters, right?
I think that
men aren't playing in women's sports.
I played sports my whole life. Sports were an important part of my life. I'm grateful for the.
Again, that's not happening.
Men are not only that, but they're not men. They're trans women.
Yes,
they're women.
Anita, that doesn't play well. That doesn't, feed into their bullshit narrative, you see, to frame it that way. They're framing it that way deliberately. We know that.
Well, I know that. And, I wish, honestly, I just think it's useless to go on Fox, really. I mean, especially somebody like Jesse Waters, okay? Maybe Brett Baer or somebody like that. But Jesse Waters, he's trying to make him sound crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he just keeps bringing up these stupid cultural issues. And then he's not talking about issues that are actually affecting people. It's the same. Did you hear what he said? He said, you lost on that issue last time. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So you're letting the cat out of the bag. That's what you're doing. You're trying to use this issue so that to defeat Democrats. You're not. This is not really an issue in this country. Mm-mm. This is all bullshit.
Right.
So they're making this something just like they did with gay marriage and all this other stuff.
They do it. It's the wedge issue. That's the wedge issue. Remember, it used to be abortion.
Yeah.
And I know. Now that they've gotten their way, now it's, they're looking for different wedge issues.
Yes, they've been using this one for a while, and it's just such a non-issue with gay marriage and with gay. I mean, there's a good percentage of the population that affects, but I mean, men and women, trans women in women's sports is not an issue. There's nobody in the WNBA. There's no trans woman in the WNBA.
Yep.
And they continue to harass these poor women and to pretend that they care about women's sports and make this about, caring about women's sports. They don't care about women's sports. They don't care about women. They would rather women not have sports.
Right, of course. They want trad wives. They want women who are stuck in home, but yet they don't want to pay, they don't want to pay people what they would be required to have a single income either.
No.
But most families, most working families now, unless you have had, extensive higher education, most families right now are relying on two adults working and multiple jobs in many cases.
even if you're highly educated, usually you have to have two
Well,
incomes
yeah.
for your. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know
but what I'm
anybody.
saying, what I'm specifying that to say more than one job per person.
It seems like the only people that can afford now for just to have one income are people that are just living, are already born wealthy. They're wealthy,
Mhm.
So like the people that Donald Trump, the people that hang out at Mar-a-Lago.
Mhm.
But yeah, this, and he keeps going back to affordability and everything, but the truth is, I don't know if it's I don't see any point in going on with Jesse Waters. Do you?
No, I don't. And so, yeah, this ASIN post, Waters, I actually like Abdul. I probably shouldn't like him, but I do. I think he would be a terrible senator, and he's a little bit of a lunatic, but at least he's not your typical stiff. Okay. So, I don't know. Do we want to
You
hear
can
this
play it.
guy
It's very
again?
short.
Okay. I mean, I'm kind of tired of his fucking face and voice, but
I
okay.
actually like Abdul. I probably shouldn't like him, but I do. I think he'd be a terrible senator, and he's a little bit of a lunatic, but at least he's not your typical stiff.
Who cares
Hakeem
what he
talked to
thinks? You think
Kushner
Donald
because
Trump
he
is
wanted to help the country. Abdul talked to me because he wanted to help Michigan and himself.
Okay. I don't want to hear him anymore. I'm sorry.
but it's
Yeah,
funny that he
listen
said
to him.
Hakeem Chuck talked to Kushner because he wanted to help the country. See, that's the problem with talking to these people. The right wing is going to use it. They're
Hmm.
going to keep reminding everybody
Right.
that Hakeem talked to Jared as if that's like, oh, because he knows it divides Democrats.
Hmm.
So
Well,
anyway, I know.
uh, I don't want to even get on that anymore. I'm, of course, you know, if I'm not divided about it. I think that the thing about Democratic voters, and I'm talking about like true dyed in the wool Democratic voters like us. Am I happy with what that Hakeem did that? No. Does that mean that I'm gonna like leave the Democratic Party or whatever? Of course not. You know
Well,
what I mean? Like there's, that's the difference. But it's like when we're trying to garner support from get some independents and get some people non-voters or whatever, just all I'm saying is it doesn't help with
I
the
don't think
both
they're paying
sides.
attention to it.
Well, it's all over the place, let me just tell you.
Yeah, but that's all over the place with people who
On
are actually
well, on social
paying
media.
attention constantly to
Right.
politics. And I was listening to Heather Cox Richardson, and she's very suspicious about this whole thing. She thinks that Hakeem, accepted this from Jared because what was he going to do? And then Maggie Haberman and I forget who else wrote this out, who are very close to the Trump administration,
Right.
tried to make it look like it was this, it's nefarious thing that they were meeting in secret, and it's just really a nothing burger.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying what she said.
Yeah.
That is, it's people are making a bigger thing about it than they should. And
Well,
it may,
but it was in secret.
well, not really. I just
No?
think, no,
Did you
I
know
don't, I
about
don't
it?
think that, I don't think they meant to do it in secret. Just because what are they supposed to do? Announce it? I don't think it was meant to be a secret. I don't think they did it. He did it on purpose to be a secret. I
Hmm.
mean, he purposely hid it from Democrats. I just think they made it sound like that by putting it out.
Yeah, I just
Oh,
don't know what the point of it is,
well, I
but
don't either. Now, one of the things that I have a problem, the only thing I have a problem with was why are you meeting with Jared when Jared isn't even a government official? He's just
yeah,
a son-in-law.
right. Right.
I don't know why you mean. And not only that, but Heather Cox Richardson said this. The problem is that we want to see Democrats who are fighting the Trump administration, and when
Hmm.
you're coddling up, when you're any kind of business with them,
That's it.
yeah, you're giving them some sort of legitimacy, and we don't see them. We see them as
Well,
these.
and you're eliminating some of the threat.
That's what I mean. That
Yeah,
it's
I
not.
know.
Oh, they're really not that threatening. How could they be? We're meeting
Right.
with
I
them.
mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, so that is my problem with it. It was an unforced error, as you said yesterday. And
Hmm.
he shot himself in the foot with it. And but in the moment that we're in, when all of us are, starting to feel it more than even before. Okay. And I'm just going to say, yesterday was a bad day. I had to put $3,000 on a credit card. I didn't want to do that. If it was last year, I wouldn't have had to do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like that is the real impact of everything that we have seen in the last 18 months. This is all,
Well, it's
and it's going to get worse. And that's the thing that I think
well,
everybody
what's
is
sad is
grappling with is it's going to get worse.
what's sad is there most people cannot afford to put $3,000 on a credit
I
card. They don't have
know.
a credit card with that much.
Anita, I'm not saying, I mean, of course, there are people that are worse off than I am, but
Well,
it's
that's
like, and I'm not trying to sit there and put myself out there as like, oh my God, poor me, this is happening to me. No, I know it's happening to a lot of people. I know a lot of people whose families don't have the means that I have. And they are having like it's health care, it's whether they get
right.
health care or not. I get that. I know people like that, people that are
Yeah.
having to travel 250 miles to, because they're battling cancer and they need to get their, and they're elderly and they have to get their elderly husband, in for treatment.
Well, when our air conditioning went out, that's what I kept thinking about. I kept thinking about people here in Texas in this kind of heat that can't afford central air.
Yeah.
That if their air conditioner goes out, they're fucked.
Yeah.
There are people all over Texas. People deliver fans to them here in
Mm-hmm.
Texas, in San Antonio, to
Yeah.
these poor areas because they can't afford air conditioning, and it's very dangerous for elderly people, especially.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. And I mean, my anger is honestly, my anger is about for everybody that's
yeah,
having to go through this. It's not
right,
just about my one situation. But yesterday it definitely brought it home. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like everybody's like, oh, at some point it's going to affect everybody. Well, it definitely affected me yesterday in a way that it hadn't before.
right,
So,
yeah. I know it is kind of
it's
yep.
it sucks. And of course, bad news, bad news, bad news, and anxiety and all the rest of it. And then we get the news yesterday that Dolly Parton passed away.
Yes, at age 80, unexpectedly. I thought it was unexpectedly, but you said that you had heard some
I
things.
saw, because I saw several months ago. I can't remember how long ago. It was several months ago. I think she had to cancel some appearances, and I think that what she went on there and she said, "I'm okay." She was like, it was kind of a reassurance. It's just like there's some health things, and I don't know if it had to do with what just the cancer, because I guess she had cancer.
Yeah, she died
So
pretty
I don't,
quickly.
yeah, I don't know if it was, diagnosed back then or if it was just diagnosed, but maybe there were some things that were happening. It was.
Well, she seemed like she was in such good shape because, like I
Mhm.
said, like a couple years ago, she was performing at the Super Bowl in a
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboy cheerleader outfit at
Yeah.
79 years old.
Yeah. Well,
You
and I
know?
think, too, and you've made this point before, you look at, like when we talk about, oh, there shouldn't be all these octogenarians in
Hmm.
the Congress, and there shouldn't, we shouldn't elect octogenarians, and because like it's all, old people, it's like a monolith, and they're all,
Right.
but the reality is, like, I mean, yes, she was 80 years old, but we can go at
Yes.
any time, and she seemed to be in good health, and
Yeah,
but
she
it can
did. And I
happen
don't
that
think we should.
quickly.
I
Yeah.
don't think we should paint all octogenarians with a broad brush because look at Bernie Sanders. I always
Yeah.
point him out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
And look
because
at
they're
her, like, to your point,
and look at her. And there's people like her. And yes, I mean, and you know what? There is something to be said for their experience. I mean, they understand a lot more than these kids sometimes coming out. I say kids in their 30s or whatever, and they're very, ideologically driven and a little, and that's good too. But you
Hmm.
need both.
Yeah.
You need the experience and you need, the kind of energy that young
Yeah.
people bring.
Yeah, but yeah. So getting back to Dolly Parton, so she passed away. She really truly walked the walk, talked the talk.
Hmm.
I mean, she did not, she actually espoused and followed Christian, the teachings of Christ, as opposed to Republicans who claim to be Christian. And
Yeah, she talked about we should love everyone. She,
Mhm.
spoke out um for the LGBTQ community early on. She started that literacy program that's
Yep.
probably going to continue, you
Yep.
know, and let's see, she, God, she did so many things. I'm trying to think right now. Some of
The
the things she,
Moderna vaccine.
yeah, the vaccine. Yes, exactly. So, I mean, she's just been, an amazing person. People
Hmm.
talk about how she could have been a billionaire, but
Yeah.
she's used her money for good causes.
Hmm.
She donated a lot of it. She started Dolly, what's that?
Dollywood.
Dollywood to help people because the place where she lived, they didn't have jobs,
Yeah.
so it employed a lot of people.
Hmm.
And she took care of her family. She never had any children,
Hmm.
probably because she was one of 12 children.
Yeah.
And she probably
She
had a
already
lot.
did that. Been
Yeah,
there,
she
done
already
that.
helped raise some
Hmm.
children.
Hmm.
So, and she was married for, God, decades to
Yeah.
Carl.
Yeah. And he just passed in 2025.
Yeah, and that kind of probably,
Yeah.
she
That could
said she
have.
was taking care of him
Hmm.
through his illness. I'm not sure what was wrong with him, if he had cancer or whatever, but
Yeah.
she said she wasn't able to kind of take care of herself during that time. So,
Yeah. Yep. So, Dolly Parton's sister on court tirade at Pimple Trump in days before Starr's death. Dolly Parton's sister unleashed a blistering stream of attacks against President Donald Trump in the days leading up to the country music legend's death, including a now deleted attack shortly before the news broke. As a natural born citizen of the United States of America, I do not support nor do I agree with Trump or his deranged, ugly, nasty behavior, Stella Parton wrote in a post on Tuesday, according to a screenshot retained by Raw Story before it disappeared. Um,
hmm.
yes, let's see. Many of us are disgusted and feel threatened by his actions and his cabinet, Republican sycophants, and the majority of the SCOTUS. The post racked up more than 600 replies and 500 reposts before it was deleted for unknown reasons.
Huh, that's interesting. That
Hmm.
was Stella Parton, her sister.
Yeah, Stella Parton, the sisters. Yeah, she is a singer, songwriter, and actress.
I
Described
remember
Trump
her.
as a pimple. Yep.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure Dolly had some words to say about Donald Trump in private, but
Yeah. Yep.
she never kind of said anything political. She really kept to herself,
Yeah.
and, but she lived a good, I guess, would be a true Christian life.
Altruistic,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah.
she was a philanthropist and
Hmm.
tried to live her life.
And just a good person. She was a very
Yeah.
decent person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Live her life in a way that, she kind of, for me, she's like Mr. Rogers and Rhinestones, and if, like the female version of Mr.
Yes.
Rogers. She just
Yeah.
was very gentle and kind and,
Hmm.
yeah, just sweet.
She was. That's a good analogy or
Mhm.
good comparison, or, that
Yeah,
Mr. Rogers, because Mr. Rogers wasn't very political either. As a matter of
yeah,
fact, I think he was a Republican, but that was a different time.
right.
But, he was just a wonderful person, a beautiful
Hmm.
person.
Yeah. So anyway, well, thanks for coming on here with me, Anita, after yesterday. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. You know what? I have those days too.
I know. I just, you know what?
You
It
know,
caught me right before we were going
I
on, and I
know it
was
was.
really pissed.
I
So,
know that
but
happened, right? Yes, it's true.
just as we
Immediately
went
before
on, so
that,
I was like really like
and then
not.
afterwards, Dolly Parton died.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it was kind of like, yes, we
Yeah.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It just, and again, everybody's feeling this, and this is why we have to look for ways to stop this. I think the numbers, the polling is showing favorable results in the midterms for us, all the good people in this country. And I think that, yeah, unfortunately, to your point, people are going to have to feel the pain before they get it. And
that's why I
we
think Abdul.
definitely, yeah.
You know what? They had a poll just yesterday. It came out had him 6 points ahead of Mike
Mhm.
Rogers. So
Yeah.
I mean, so these little things probably don't matter. Him going on Jesse Waters because the people watching that already have
Yeah.
set up, made up their mind.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. So I don't think it's working. I don't think, yeah, and I just think that, people are really feeling it. And so, that
Oh yeah.
goes further than them trying to trot out these old culture wars, and keep hammering that. I think people are like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't really matter. Like, I can't afford my groceries. I can't afford my health care. I can't
Yeah, how
fill
is
my
that going to help me put
yeah,
food on the table?
exactly. Exactly. So I think that that's what's going to happen. So I was talking to our friend Jill Winebanks about going and canvassing in Wisconsin,
Oh
leading up to
yeah.
the midterms, and also maybe doing driving, voters to the polls up in Michigan, because of course they've got a pretty,
Yes.
yeah, important race up there for governor.
Both
So
Wisconsin and Michigan are going to be important.
exactly. So yeah, so I think we're gonna try and hook up and do that.
Yeah.
Partner up. So yeah, so we just have to stay focused and make sure that we
Hmm.
get Democrats elected, make sure to get people registered,
And
help
don't get
them,
sidetracked.
and don't get sidetracked. So,
Yeah.
and if we do that, we'll win. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Please go to our
Thanks,
YouTube
everybody.
channel, like and
Smash the
subscribe.
button.
And please go over to our Patreon and subscribe there. We would really appreciate some financial support, but it is not necessary. And you will be able to get all of these TBP dailies as well as our bi weekly podcast. And we just recorded with Chris Cluey, who is a former NFL hunter, and running for California's AD 72. So please check that out. It's anywhere that you get your podcast, and also on YouTube and on our Patreon as well. So thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.